There was this video I saw that I actually wanted to stitch, but it was not possible to stitch the video on the app. Anyway, whatever. It was this woman saying that, like, her friends, whenever she gets into an argument with her man, her friends will tell her, like, so what, girl? Like, curse him out. Like, who cares? Whatever. And she's like, I can't do that. Like, my man will literally hang up the phone on me. Like, he's not going to allow me to disrespect him. He's not going for that. Like, I can't do that. And I just want to say, like, I am not that friend. I am not the friend that's going to encourage you to curse your man out. I'm not going to be the one that's like, girl, F him. Like, let's keep it pushing. We don't need men. Like, come on, we can do our own thing. Like, I am not that. I'm not that. I'm not a feminist. I'm not a woman who is supporting the divide of women and men. Like, I'm not into that. Okay, I want people to be in love. I want people to have good relationships, and I'm going to give you the best possible advice as my friend that I could give you. If you don't want to hear that, that's up to you. But I'm never going to be a city girl. Like, I'm just never going to be that. I'm never going to be that type of person who is going to tell you something that can negatively impact your relationship just because I'm just telling you what you want to hear. Like, and that's a problem. A lot of women are around women that tell them what they want to hear, not what they need to hear.
Am I a feminist? No, I am not a feminist. I am a feminine woman. What's the difference? Well, this is my take on it. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Comment in the comments. Well, a feminist hates men. These days, feminist women are bitter, angry, overweight, ugly, and they hate men. And they're ugly from the inside out. Whereas feminine women respect men, admire men, collaborate with men, and are confident that their feminine grace can be an asset to men. They're not threatened or intimidated by men because they have no desire to be men. They are happy being women, and they know exactly what to bring to the table.
I am a woman, but I'm not a feminist. Because feminists want to be men. They grow armpit hair, and that's unhygienic. But only for women. Oh, it could never be me. Besides, aren't you supposed to be feminine when you're a feminist? You read all this propaganda about patriarchy and you haven't figured it out yet. You're welcome.
And it is just so great to see more of these former feminists coming alive, waking up from their mental stupor of thinking that feminism was a good idea, and instead rejecting feminism and embracing the patriarchy, because they're starting to realize as they get older that, you know what, the patriarchy got us to where we are, and the patriarchy is more about inclusion and more about equality than any other system out there, because they saw for themselves, like, feminism is not about helping other women. Right? It's about women crawling on top of each other, crawling all over each other to get to the top, sabotaging each other, manipulating each other, lying to each other. They realize that it's not about equality, it's about superiority. Right? It's about power. It's about controlling the narrative. And thank God, more and more of these women are starting to wake up. And I'm starting to see more of these women making these types of videos where they are no longer afraid to speak out against it. They are no longer worried about the backlash or the cancel culture or somebody demanding a public apology. They're no longer worried about it, right? They're coming out and they're saying, hey, this is what I believe. I believe that we should have a patriarchy. I believe that we should love men. We need men. We need each other. It's okay to be straight. It's okay to want a man. It's okay to want a strong, dominant man who's masculine, who is a leader, who takes charge. Right? That there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with teaching these boys that. Right? And they're starting to speak up. Because a lot of these feminists, they're not going to listen to men, especially guys like us, right? They're really going to, if they listen to anybody, it will be other women. Of course, they're going to shout these women down. They're going to call them pick-me girls. Oh, look, she's a pick-me girl. I did a recent poll on my Instagram recently at @MattCrossOfficial. Follow me. I did a poll. I said, what would you rather have, a strong, independent woman or a pick-me girl? I think it was like 97%, 98% said I'd rather have a pick-me girl. I don't want the strong, independent woman. Nobody wants that. And even the few guys that did say strong and independent woman, I think they were just being facetious and trying to troll, right? Just trying to be funny. But overwhelmingly, the guys who took this seriously, I mean, 98% said, no, I want the woman who's submissive. I want the pick me, right? I'd rather have her. So it's good to see a lot more of these women calling these chicks out and speaking up, because that is my definition of a strong woman. I mean, that is my definition of a strong and independent woman who is literally showing that in the face of all this peer pressure, that she is not willing to just go with the crowd, that she's willing to stick to her beliefs and say what she feels in her heart, what she feels is true, regardless of how it makes you feel. She's willing to stand up for what she believes in, and she's not going to back down. And she'll even put it on social media, as these ladies did, and proclaim they are not feminists and don't want to be associated with that term, right? That's my definition of a strong woman. Okay, not these harpies, these feministas who are essentially just going with the crowd, right? And like, look, I'm strong, I'm a feminist. No, you're not strong. I mean, it's not hard to call yourself a feminist because you know you're not going to get backlash. Nobody's going to come after you. Nobody's going to demand a public apology. Nobody's going to try to cancel you. They're just going to think, okay, you're crazy, you're batshit crazy, just stay away from me. But nobody's going to come after you and try to threaten you with violence or, you know, try to dox your home address or anything like that. No, that only happens to people who speak out against it. Okay? That happens to women like this. That's why I say they are the ones who are really strong, really courageous, and really truly independent. The rest of these chicks who are feminists and, you know, LGBTQ or whatever, and like, oh, I'm coming out, I'm strong, look how strong I am, and ooh, you know, no, that does not take strength at all, because you're just going along with the narrative. You're going along with what people expect you to do, right? There's no, you know, there's no courage in that whatsoever. If anything, it's cowardly, right? It is very cowardly. Like when I see these women on the IG or any social media hashtag on Women's Day, women supporting women, strong, independent, empowered, all this, I'm like, no, you're just a bunch of cowards, right? Because if you're really strong, independent, empowered, you wouldn't need to hashtag it, and you wouldn't even need to tell anybody that. You would just go out and do it, right? You would just go out and do it. You would lead by example. Plain and simple, right? Plain and simple. But it is so good to see a lot more of these women out there willing to stand up and fight for men and, you know, speak on behalf of us, because we've been doing it for these women forever, right? Guys, we've been doing it for centuries. So it's about time they stand up for us. I mean, it's long overdue. I want to see more women stand up and stand up to these like harpies, your sisters and your sisterhood, and tell them that, no, I don't hate men, and no, there's no gender pay gap. You're all a bunch of liars and deceivers, and you're being led by Satan, the father of lies, the author of confusion, and no, there are only two genders, there's not 65, right? I want to see more of these women stand up for what's true, what's right, what's just, what's virtuous, and stop giving in to evil. Stop giving in to behaviors that are going to lead to failure. Right? You notice that about the woke mob and the left in general? I mean, dare I say even Democrats, like everything they push, like all the beliefs, the values, the behaviors that they push are beliefs, values, and behaviors that lead to failure in life, that lead to anger, they just lead to destruction and immorality, right? They're not pushing values, behaviors, and ideologies that will lead you to success in life, happiness, fulfillment. No, they're pushing you the opposite direction. They're telling you to become single moms. They're telling you to smoke weed. They're telling you to essentially live at home forever and not get a real job, play video games, give up your masculinity, stop identifying as a man if you're a man, stop identifying as a woman if you're a woman. No, start opening up your dating pool to different genders and all this. I mean, they're literally pushing this stuff, right? How are these values going to lead you to happiness and success? They won't. They won't. I mean, mostly these days, it's mostly the right that pushes these traditional values, right? Which is why I'm kind of moved more center-right these days. Not full on, definitely. I want to stay independent, right? I like keeping my independence. But for the most part, they're pushing these values. But even them, you can't trust them all the way, because they themselves will kowtow every now and then and will issue these public apologies and will not stand up for what's right, but instead will sell you out to protect their careers or whatever else, when they shouldn't. They should really just stand their ground. I mean, that is issuing a public apology is the most pussy-ass thing ever, especially if what you said was pretty spot on, which normally whenever somebody gets in trouble for saying something out of line, it's usually because they said something that was pretty true, right? That was just generally true. But the woke mob doesn't like it, so they need to make sure you shut up and they make an example of you. And of course, these idiots will just kowtow and issue that public apology like little bitches, right? Whereas I've always said, like, I will never apologize for anything I've ever said on my channel. I will go down with the ship, because even if you do apologize, they're still gonna cancel you. They'll even come after you harder, because just like a bully, when a bully messes with you and you don't, you just let him keep messing with you, or God forbid you apologize to him, he's just gonna bully you harder, right? At some point, you gotta turn around and like punch that dude in the face and be like, no, you're not, that ain't gonna work over here, man. I wanna come back to school tomorrow and I don't wanna see your face in my face again. Otherwise, we're gonna have problems, because I ain't no easy target. And that's what bullies look for. They look for easy targets who will comply, submit to them, just like they did during the lockdowns, the pandemic, right? People who will just comply and submit and shut up and not say a word. It just saddened me how many beta males we have in charge that didn't say a word about these lockdowns, about these masks, about the shot, right? That is clearly causing a lot of people to drop dead, right? I mean, do your research on this. That you can't even publish these days, otherwise you'll get canceled. It's sad, right? It's sad, but those are the times we're living in. So not to get too far off track, I give props to these women and any woman out there who speaks up and out against feminism about what it really is, that the whole thing is based on one big deception and manipulation and one big lie. With that said, drop your comments below, guys. Let me know what you think of tonight's coaching video. Anything you'd like to add, anything you'd like to share, please drop them in the comments below. I always love to see you guys in my comments. I always love to read them, so please feel free to drop your comments below. And also, obviously, don't forget to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and smash that notification bell as well. Helps me out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. For you guys who want to support my work, best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months of Mastery, where I'm teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s. The same exact type of women that myself and all of my coaching students all around the world now are out there cold approaching, picking up, bringing into their lives, making them their girlfriends. Some of them are even wifing them up. Many of my students have wifed up some of these girls that are way out of their league. I mean, I'm impressed when they send me their wedding photos. I'm like, whoa. Many of them have had children now, which is crazy, right? All thanks to my program. These guys all started in 7 Months of Mastery, and this is where it starts, guys. So if you want to join us, jump into 7 Months of Mastery, and obviously that is the best way to support my work as well. If I'm adding value to your life, just wait till you get into Mastery, and you'll see what I have to offer you. Right now it's only $1. Take advantage of it. Just click the link below and it will take you over my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now. I'll see you